you guys. Oh my goodness. I was waiting to start the show and I looked over, there are 5 people waiting, and I'm like, well, I guess 5 people remember who we are.
I know, right?
Or they're just like, new channel, who this? I don't know.
And we wonder why nobody watches our channel with the 5 shows a year we've been doing lately.
Hey, we got stuff to do, man. Yeah, seriously, this is our first show in the month of February this year, and it is the 26th.
Our last show was January 28th.
Something like that.
No, not something. It was. I looked.
Anyway, guys, welcome back to us. February's definitely been kind of crazy, as you know, if you watched the last show or you pay attention to us. We went on a cruise. We left on February 2nd. Actually, we were in New Orleans for a few days, and then we went on a 7-day cruise, got back on the 12th, and then the next weekend you were supposed to be having a whole weekend in New England, but you got there, you were there for what, 36 hours before you tested positive for COVID?
And half of those hours were sleeping hours. So yeah, I got in Thursday night at 4:30, Thursday afternoon at 4:30. I flew into Boston. Trish and Diane picked me up. And we went to dinner and hung out with Diane's daughter and son-in-law, and we had a great time. Came back to the house, stayed at Diane's house, got up the next day. I was fine. Middle of the afternoon on last Friday, I started to feel crappy and went, oh,
Ruh-roh.
So tested while I was at Diane's house, of all people, hanging out with Diane, our immunocompromised friend who is currently undergoing cancer treatments. I'm in her living room and positive. So yeah, I might get some hate about this and the messages, whatever, but I double masked and flew home.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? You have to, I mean, it is.
Well, I mean, I get it. You're not supposed to travel. The reality is that I could not stay in a hotel by myself for 4 or 5 days in New England on the anniversary of the station fire, which is why I was there in Rhode Island. That would not have been good for my mental health. So I double masked, and next time on the plane was wearing a mask. I flew home and went to bed.
You didn't eat or drink anything the whole time?
I didn't. So I didn't have to get up to pee. I was trying to
she was like up against the window,
minimize my little circle of germs. And yeah, I was up against the window. I had my hood on my hoodie, and
it was a hot mess.
I did what I had to do, but and thankfully, knock on wood, I did not get Diane sick or Trish sick, because God, I've given Trish COVID twice now, I think. But nobody else got sick from me. A lot of people were sick coming off of our cruise. A lot of our group and other people on the cruise ended up having COVID. I did test twice.
Well, here's the thing. We went for Corey's birthday, and all together there were like 20 of us. But the thing is, like, we didn't before we went on the cruise. We had a lot of fun with everybody. We spent a lot of time just the two of us together. While some of the people in our group did test positive for COVID, we were like, oh, well, we didn't spend a ton of time with them. And I didn't get sick. And like Vikki said, she tested twice before going to England. And it's just, this is like the new reality of the world. It's just.
Yeah. And as far as what strain of COVID, I have no idea. This is the second time I've gotten it. And to be quite honest, I know that this is not everyone's experience, but for me, both times, slight head cold and sniffles for 2 days. Literally, that's it.
Yeah. Well, we're vaccinated, and
both times it's been a nothing burger for me. And I realize that's not the case for everyone. Don't get me wrong. I have several friends that are very, very sick, and I've lost people, as we have. So, I mean, it's still there. It's just right now, it's just a cold for me. And thankfully for most people it is at this point. The various strains and incarnations have diluted a lot, and most people are not getting very sick anymore.
And we're up to date on the latest books and all that stuff. So whatever. It is what it is, guys. But let's rewind a little bit. We'll bring you guys up to speed. We went to New Orleans. We were there for 3 days. That was super fun. It was kind of Mardi Gras technically started, but Mardi Gras lasted for like a few weeks. And so we're kind of at the beginning stages of it, but it was really awesome because we stayed at this really cute little historic hotel right down by Bourbon Street. We got to see a parade. Vikki drank a whole, I don't know, maybe 4 drinks the whole night, and somehow was so hungover the next day she thought she was going to die and had to get well, didn't have to, but didn't want to be sick. And so I managed to get her to very slowly walk down the street to get an IV, a banana bag, so that she could feel better, which is well worth it if you can get one when you're feeling sick like that.
Yeah, it was well worth it. I have to say, if you ever end up in that predicament and you go somewhere like Vegas or some other vacation destinations, major cities, and you can get the IV after,
yeah,
do it.
But the best part about being in New Orleans is that our friend Chris Bradley, a friend of the show,
I know she's in the chat.
Reseller. She lives in New Orleans, and so she was awesome. And came and picked us up like 2 days in a row. Took us to our favorite places to eat. We got to have beignets. We got to go to a couple cemeteries. It's funny, she says here, is it wrong of me to be disappointed that we did not find human remains?
We did go to a very old cemetery. A lot of them in New Orleans are very old. Very old. It was a Black cemetery, so it was all Black history, and they used to have the cemeteries were segregated years ago. And this was a very, very poor cemetery, and even now it was very interesting, but also very sad to see the differences in socioeconomics and how people were buried differently and still are being buried differently. It's still an active cemetery, and it's almost like a pauper cemetery. So
that's what it was traditionally.
And a lot of people didn't have names or headstones, and they still don't. People that can't afford headstones, and the people are buried, I don't know, 75 on top of each other. I mean, it said something like the number of graves there, and it was a very small cemetery. So it was very interesting.
And depressing.
I have to say, Sunny, the beignets that you bring to our house were better than the ones that we had in New Orleans.
Well,
in my opinion.
So we went to
Cafe du Monde.
Cafe du Monde.
Like the traditional.
They were good, but people will say that there's other places in New Orleans where they're better. Everybody has their different opinions. I thought they were delicious. However, I will say, and this is probably sacrilege, I actually like the ones we had in Disneyland better. The Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, the New Orleans hotel in Disneyland. Yeah, they actually are just as good, if not better. The ones that Sunny brings, oof, chef's kiss. Those are really good. When we have meetups, Sunny is in charge of bringing some of the best pastries. He ruined it for himself. The very first one he came to, our very first meetup that we had that Sunny came to, he brought like really
he brought a cake.
He brought a cake from Freed's Bakery, which is one of the best bakeries in town. And then every time he comes, he keeps like upping the ante and bringing these amazing pastries. Yeah. So like you can never not come. Sorry.
It can be just touching my Southern pearls. Listen, the beignets. The very first time I had beignets was the first time I was in New Orleans, and they were not from Cafe du Monde. And I remember them being delicious, but that was so many years ago that I don't remember what they were like compared to the Mickey Mouse ones.
And those we just had a few years ago.
Yeah, so and they were really yummy. But yes, pastries are indeed delicious.
I love me some pastries.
So Vikki recovered from her New Orleans christening hangover.
As we said, I was vomiting in a public bathroom on Bourbon Street, so I pretty much have herpetitis now. It's a combination of herpes and hepatitis.
It's true. I mean, you're not supposed to rub your face on the toilet bowl.
I mean, I didn't lick the toilet bowl, but
anyway, so then we went on a cruise ship. I have been officially turned into a cruiser. I never wanted to go on a cruise before, but honestly, the 3 years preparation when we bought our tickets and when we went, I kind of resigned myself to at least enjoy the vacation. And then once I was there, I realized like how nice it is, because before we go travel somewhere, it's like you still have to figure out where you're going to eat. You got to rent a car, you got to drive. And unless we're visiting Vikki's family, I'm the one that drives us everywhere. I'm the one that more than half the time figures out where we're going to eat and all that stuff. And to be able to go somewhere where you literally have no responsibility, all the food is just there. It's already like part of what the package that you paid for 3 years earlier. You're not having to
we totally converted her. Not to mention, Katy loved all of the trivia on board. She especially loved the 80s night. We will attest to this. We did all dress up for 80s night. I know you're shocked. I love a good theme. So we all dressed up for 80s nights. We brought props and everything. We brought buttons we were giving out to other cruisers. And like, Katy was about to get recruited as a cruise director by the end of the cruise. We were pretty sure she was going to get a job offer.
It was really fun. It was really fun. But what I was saying, there's something really nice about not having to think about anything. You're hanging out, drinking beers, having a good time. When it's time to go to bed, you just go to bed. There's food just waiting for you. You just got to go get it. It's like it was nice. Okay, it was a good time. We got to go to we went to Jamaica, Grand Cayman. We won't get too much into all this stuff. Went to Cozumel. There were a few days that were just at sea. So I had a really good time. And yeah, that's about it. So it's been a lot, guys. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Did the cruise, came back. Vikki went to New England, got sick, had to come back home, was sick for a few more days, finally recovered, got to do a few things with some friends this week. And last night we went for a staycation at Red Rock Casino, had a good time. Vikki had a big win, gambled all the rest of it back.
But I didn't spend any of my own money.
But she pretty much broke even. It was nice. She had a big win last night and was able to
I
play
off
that
the
whole time.
And you played off the money.
Yeah, and they comped us dinner at the sushi place.
We had a $200 dinner at the sushi place and a free meal.
Yeah, that's what you get when this one over here gambles a lot. So I reap the rewards. I have no problem with that. All right.
So now you're up to date. Unfortunately, my trip to Boston and Rhode Island was thwarted. I never did get to Rhode Island. I never did get to see my friends. I did not get to partake in the 20-year station anniversary events that were happening, and that was very hard for me. But we will be going back in May for our normal trip, and we are doing a memorial service and things like that then, so I'll be able to go then.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we're already talking about doing another cruise here in the next few months. So that tells you, because again, if you gambled a little bit on the ship, and they were like, "What? Who's this young lady?" And then
we want you back.
We were like leaving our cabin, and there's like a letter outside, and it was like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on, lady? Would you like another free cruise for you and a guest? All the drinks on us." And I'm like, "Yeah, awesome," because I did have to still pay for my drinks. It didn't make sense to buy the all you can drink package, so I just paid for them individually. So it was like $10 a year. It was a little bit of money, but thanks to Victoria, we get to go again, and my drinks are gonna be free everywhere on the ship. I don't even need to get buckets of beer anymore, Corey. It won't matter. All right? Okay?
Yep. 2 free drink packages. So anyway, Jody, that sucks that you get seasick, because we are actually talking about needing to do a reseller cruise. I know it's been done before. I mean, anybody can do any type of thing. It would be reseller cruise, just as in, we have a friend that's a travel agent, our friend Sonia, who is Corey's friend that booked this cruise for all of us. And we're thinking about seeing what we can do to get like group rates for a cruise for resellers to go on. Like you just, show up and do no teaching.
Yeah, it wouldn't be for
just a fun floating.
There'd be no content. It would basically just be like, hey,
fun floating place to hang out.
If you want to come, we're going on these dates. Who all wants to join us? It'd be super fun. Like, so yeah. So please let us know in the comments, in the chat, if that'd be something you would consider, because I will say traveling, when you get really good deals, it is a really super cheap way to vacation.
It is a cheap way to vacation. Obviously, it would be leaving from the West Coast. If we did it, it would be Long Beach, because that's the most convenient for us. So anybody that's here that's drivable would be able to.
Shelly's like,
Shelly's
so there if we plan a reseller.
I just think it would be so much fun. So we're actually planning our next cruise already, and Danica's coming with us. Anyway, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think we'll be talking to her after the show to figure out exactly what dates we're going to be
doing. Sonny, you need to get your passport, dude, for sure. It's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, so go ahead and get that passport now. Passport. Anyway, it's fun. And the nice thing about cruising is that, like Katy said, everything's already done for you. You can drink, you're not driving, you're not, there's all the food, you don't have to worry about restaurant choices. They all have an app online that you can communicate with each other on. So you can be like, oh, hey, I'm going to go to trivia at 2:00, meet you there, save you a seat, that kind of thing. But you also have plenty of time to do things on your own. You're not forced to be with other people, or you're not forced to be with the people that you're with 24/7. Of course, I would want to be with me 24/7, but in case you didn't want to be.
Weird.
Oh, Lori, see, she's used to be a great rates. First week of December is one of the best pricing times to do that. Okay.
But how warm is it in
it's warm everywhere, but everywhere you're going to cruise is going to be warm.
All right.
So
all right.
Honestly, if we did it, I've got to be honest with you. If we did it, we probably wouldn't do a 5 or a 7-day cruise. The best thing for us to do out in Long Beach would probably be the Ensenada Catalina 4-day,
Yeah.
3 to 4 day cruise because, or 3 to 5 day cruise because it's short enough. So, and loop cruises, you don't need your passport, but it is suggested if you're going to get off the ship, you should have a passport. That's
you're like,
more than any other reason. It's for medical reasons. It's for if God forbid something happens to you and you're at a port in another country, you need your passport to get out of that country and not get back on the ship. If you needed to get care, if you needed to go home, God forbid something happens.
At the very least, your regular ID and birth certificate are enough, but you're better off having your passport. And once you have one, maybe you'll take some more trips.
And depending on the cruise, if it's just a Caribbean cruise, Caribbean, Mexico, Canada, you can just get your limited passport ID. It's an enhanced passport ID. You don't need to get the full-on passport. It's a little cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not super expensive to get a passport unless you're having to expedite it or
Anyway,
I think we got through a lot of stuff in 16 minutes. Okay,
we did.
All right. Anyway, so our normal Sunday live haul show that we try to have every Sunday, but obviously the stuff comes up, and we break it up into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our real numbers for the last week. That's going to be from last Sunday to yesterday, Saturday. And look at some of the costs that go into that, some more cost of goods, things like that. Middle part of the show, we look at our sales highlights. Usually it's for the last week, but because we've been gone this whole time, we do have some sales that we've grabbed from since we've had our last show, which was the end of January.
4 weeks.
And then the last part is we do our haul. Vikki still has like 7 boxes from Colorado. I almost said Canada. From Colorado. So, I mean, when did you go now?
A couple months ago.
Yeah. So she's got some more stuff to show from Colorado, and I have stuff from last week that I bought at yesterday's fits. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to comment on Mo's comment. You're right. The 4-day cruise to Ensenada and Catalina Island, aka the LA party ship to Great Tacos. Correct. Ensenada. Ensenada is a bit of a dive part of Mexico, but it's still fun. It's always fun as far as the port goes. But they have some of the best tacos in Ensenada. I can tell you, I've been a few times. There's a few different spots that I know of, and clearly Mo does as well. They're pretty awesome. So,
I mean, I'm thinking a reseller cruise to Mexico is a good idea because we could just eat tacos the whole time.
I mean, I think we could just call it the taco cruise.
That's right. All right, so let's get into our show. You want to go ahead and look at our numbers?
Yeah,
what do you think?
Let's do it.
Oh, hold on,
now, mind you, we have not worked in a month, or at least I haven't.
I mean, we've tried to, but it hasn't happened much. I mean, I did do some sourcing last week, and I already got it all listed. And here, screen. Sorry, I usually have this part done, but it's been a while, guys.
Lori, totally hit me up. Just send me a message. We will chat.
Okay, so there we go. All right, so this is my numbers for the last week. Not great, although eBay okay, considering what my eBay numbers have been for in the last year. But 22 eBay orders, 2 Etsy. Now, Etsy has been, I don't know what's going on with my Etsy. I'm going to show you a crazy sale I had on Etsy just before we left our trip. But overall, it's been crickets over on Etsy. I don't know what the deal is. Nothing Instagram private. And then 8 between grilled and Mercari. I think 2 of those were Mercari. For a total of 32 outgoing orders. eBay gross sales $1,346.27. Etsy $99.98. So sad. And then Grill Mercari together $415. So my total gross sales $1,861.25. Shipping $151.62. You can see the breakdown of the fees there. And then my cost of goods $265. So my net total sales $1,218.36. Gross average sale price definitely much lower than I like. My goal is usually 70 and above, so 58.16, and my net average sale price 38.07. Yeah, it looks like Sandra got all of my Etsy sales. How dare you? How dare you?
By the way, it's nice to see you in the chat, Sandra. Thanks for popping in.
We missed you.
We were worried about you, my friend.
We miss you.
I literally reached out to not just you, but like our other mutual friends to be like, have you heard from Sandra? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's
so
alive.
Just know that you're missed.
Yes, we love you. All right, let's look at your sales. What do you got here? Better than me anyway.
I mean, not great, but not horrible. So 37 orders on eBay, 9 on Etsy, 8 on Poshmark, 6 on Mercari for a total of 60 for the week. 1528 and change on eBay, 896 and change on Etsy. My Etsy was a good week. 311 on Posh. Nah, Posh has not recovered for me since they started live sales. I've got to be honest with you. Not when they changed the algorithm, because that worked fine for me. When they added live sales on Posh, my sales went into the share, and they have not really recovered. So 6 on Mercari for a total of 60 outgoing orders. I'm sorry, I already said that. Total gross sales $29.38 and change. Shipping $294. I had quite a few international orders. And then the breakdown of all of the fees there. My cost of goods, as always, is relatively low. Most of my items come from the bins. And even if they're coming from the bins in Colorado, I would do an average cost of items for those. So $154 total for a total of $21.37. Let's call it net sales.
Not that much better than me. I'm just gonna say that.
It's $1,000 better.
How dare you? Well, your eBay's not that much better than you.
My eBay was crap.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, let's just jump right into our sales highlights. What do you say about that?
All right.
What do you got here? What's this fancy thing?
This is just a set of sheets. Now, I just wanted to say again, you guys hear me all the time. I always say don't skip the linens. I purchased these in Colorado. I got at a Goodwill in Colorado when I was with Liz. It was just my last trip. So I probably paid $40 for this set of sheets, if I even paid that much. I might have even done been that much. Queen size set of sheets. Crowskill is very popular, especially their older retired patterns. This is one of the older ones made in the USA. This is from the early 90s. You can dive deep to find the patterns. This is a pretty rare pattern, and I'm pretty sure I had this comforter set on my bed in the 90s. Like 90% sure. But anyway, they sold pretty quickly. I think they were listed about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and they had rolled into a sale of mine. So it sold for $67 plus shipping.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, first one up for me. So I went to yesterday's Fits last week and did a semi-big, medium-sized buy. And I've actually sold like several of the items from that buy already, which is always great. Bring that money right back in. So this is a mobile Pegasus t-shirt, which is a gas engine oil. So this is an 80s t-shirt. I just, it's a ringer tee. I like the little Pegasus on the front of it. Nice big
That's a cute
logo on the back. But look, I mean, it's got a couple of holes in the back you can see there. And it's still sold for the price.
It's a good shirt, though.
I think so too. So it's still sold for the price you see there, $69.99, and I paid like $10 for it. And just so you know, I did bleach the shirt, and you can see it didn't really have that much effect on the color on the rings. And but it had some staining, some yellowing, so I went ahead and bleached it, and it was totally fine. But I found, I mean, listen, even when the fabric makeup is the same, stuff never bleaches the same way, so it's not the most predictable. It's a but I have found overall the 50-50 cotton polyester blend on t-shirts, the color tends to not bleach out. Whereas if it were 100% cotton, that blue would be like so light blue.
Mm-hmm. So. But even still, if your shirt is badly stained or very yellowed, what are you risking?
Yeah, I'd rather have the whites be white and the sleeves and the collar be super bleached out. Like, to me, that's much better.
It's a better look,
than it looking gross.
Or, I mean, if it's bad enough that you're not going to be able to sell it anyway, so just go ahead and bleach it.
Yep, exactly.
It's just like I say, people like to buy suede jackets and suede items that are completely filthy and thrashed. It is very expensive to have suede cleaned, even if it's a handbag, a pair of shoes, no matter what it is. If you take it to a dry cleaner, it's going to cost you a fortune to have it dry cleaned, and it may or may not come clean. I tell people all the time, turn it inside out and throw it into your washing machine. Let it air dry, and then when it's done, you brush it with a suede brush to bring the nap back. And I would say 75% of the time I've saved jackets that way.
Okay. Lori, by the way, says that she needs to get a hold of you.
I already said,
sorry. Sorry. Oh, sorry. What do you got?
All right. So Jody, this is a very you shirt, but don't worry, it was very tiny. So I would have offered it to you if I felt like you could wear it very tiny, like it would fit my daughter tiny. So it's a small, it says extra large, right? It says extra large. It is not extra large.
15.5 inch across the chest.
So sold it as a small. So it sold for, I think I paid $10 for it. Sold for $10. I mean, I paid $10, sold for 70, and it sold internationally. So I made like another $10 on the shipping.
Jody is devastated.
I know. I'm sorry. But you know what? You could have put like half a boob in it. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. Next up is this cool alpaca fleece sweater. What's it say? Sweater.
Well, it's a sweater.
It's a sweater. Well, I just now saw that typo. Well, it must have worked. Maybe it pushed me up in the search because people got double sweater for
pizza, sweater.
So this is one of the items that had been unlisted for basically years from my eBay. It was in my inventory. I think I had it hanging with the jackets. I think I had it in jackets, not sweaters. But anyway, and so I went ahead and listed it, and somebody offered $80, and I accepted. I don't even remember what I paid
it's
for.
It's like free money.
But I got it so long ago that I guarantee you I didn't pay more than $10 for it. And I will say there was a separation of the seam on it, and I had Crystal work her magic, and she repaired the seam, and you couldn't, like, she was trying to show me like where she'd repaired it. We couldn't even find it. Like, that's what a good job she did. Like, we could not, because I wanted to see, like, does it look like
that's
it's been
what
repaired?
She does.
And it was,
and again, and why is it an alpaca's fleece sweater? How did you sell this? That is the worst title I've ever seen in my life.
Hold on a second. It says, I think I named it right.
The word is alpaca.
No, I understand that. Hold on a second. Now, because I'm getting a bunch of shit, I have to look it up, guys, because I can almost guarantee you that actually is the name. It is alpaca. I'm gonna look it up because otherwise it just makes me look like a dumb dummy.
A dummy.
Hold on a second.
Liz said that Cool calls it alpaca. So
yeah, see, it's alpaca. All right.
Whatever.
It
still makes you look like a dummy.
But that's what it's called. Oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this to me right now on live television. On the internet.
Yes, because all 10 people.
Anyway, hey, we've got like a cool 78 in here now, so you're doing all right. Anyway, sold it for $80, which I thought was a pretty good deal, and it's it's nice. It's a good brand, by the way. If for some reason maybe you are a newcomer to reselling, this is a very good brand that is
even the basic button-down shirts sell for $30 to $40.
Yeah, this is not vintage. This is especially like the pants, like the climbing pants, that have the reinforced
Kevlar
knees and everything. Yeah,
or Kevlar stuff. Yeah,
sell for really good money. Just a really good resale value.
So this isn't vintage. This is this is more current Escada. If it's vintage, it might be like early to mid 2000s, not quite vintage. It just kind of looks early to mid 2000s style wise. It's a little bit dated, but it's this really pretty cobalt blue. I paid about $5 for this. I remember buying this at a thrift store in California. So I've had it in my store for over a year. But it's a really pretty dress. This color this would look good on Liz. Liz looks great in this color. So I paid about $5 for it. It's sat for a while, but it did sell. It sold for $90 plus shipping. It is heavy, so it was it's a priority sale. Yeah, that is Liz's color blue.
All right, next up, the shirt Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf.
When did you get that one? Because I love 90s Howard Stern.
I literally just got this last week, guys. What's funny is I was going through and Jesse picked this up, and I looked at him like, oh, that's funny. And I wasn't even necessarily going to grab it right away. And he goes, this totally looks like something you would buy. And I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. So I bought it. I think it'd be like $10 for it.
I would have bought that.
I don't know why. I think I wasn't paying. And then when I looked at it, I saw, oh, it is actually vintage. It's from '99. And so
I would have known who it was by the picture. So you did not know by the picture.
Well, I mean, I used to listen to Howard Stern, but I do not remember. I don't think I listened to it at the time that he was Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf was popular there. I listened more in like
he used to slur all the time. Oh, he's dead now. I'm pretty sure he died.
Oh, he died like in 2001. He died. He did not live a long life. Anyway, bought this t-shirt. It made me $10 for it. And again, sold it within a couple of days. Somebody made an offer for $80. I'm like, heck yeah. So I sold it for $80. So thanks to Jesse for telling me that he was pretty sure I needed to have the shirt. And yeah, good deal. Good deal.
Faux show.
All right, next step for you.
Okay, so Katie wanted me to show this when we were doing a haul video at one point, and for whatever reason, it never made it into a haul video. But good golly, this is the ugliest, creepiest, and I sell dolls. Those of you that have been watching me for a while know that I like dolls. I like vintage dolls. I don't like them to keep them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a weirdo. I like them to sell them because they sell really well.
Is
and I know
someone
a lot
does
of
the
dolls.
whisper cry?
Yes, it whispers it.
I cannot believe that she never showed it to you guys because it's like I'm not really somebody who's scared of dolls. We like to joke about it. It's funny. It's funny to act like they freak you the F out. But this one, she like played it for me.
You pull the string.
I was like, what is it supposed to whisper?
Yes, you pull the string and it whispers. It is the scariest freaking doll. Now, I did my best to clean it. It was filthy. I got it the bins. Hair's all jacked up. Face is like discolored and faded. Let me just tell you, if this doll was in better condition, the price would have been double, by the way. It did sell. I got it at the bins.
But I'm assuming when they made it, they were like, let's make a cute whispering doll.
Yeah,
right?
so I don't know. Anyway, so I paid what, like $2-3 for it at the bins. It sold for $91 that you see there. It is creepy as F. So demon doll. Its mouth moves and it whispers like this. Let me tell you a secret.
I'm telling you, I'm assuming they were like, oh, this will be really cute. A doll that whispers, blah, blah, blah. It sounds horrific.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
It's like, it sounds like a devil.
Is that? It was so creepy. So creepy. It freaked me out. Yeah, it was not cool, man. Anyway, and then she made me go.
She just needs a little love and sage. Kristen, you're right.
Oh, creepy. I like how you said it's scary, creepy.
Because it is.
It is.
I almost put haunted because that gets you a little extra money. But then people ask you, how is it haunted? What is it happening? Things are happening with it. Sounds like I'm not going there.
All right, so this Grimmy cartoon T-shirt. I don't know if you guys remember Dana. Sometimes when Dana's like out at she'll go to Zia Records and stuff. They have T-shirts there, but they price them up quite a bit. So she'll occasionally send me a picture of stuff there and see if I want it. And so she was at one of the Zia Records locations and found like 5 or 6 of these Grimmy dead stock cartoon T-shirts. I think they were all priced at like $30 or $35, so she didn't know if I would want them or not. And I definitely probably paid too much for them, but I could not turn them down. And she did ask for a discount because I think one of them had some like on it, which I was able to get out. So I think she got them down to like maybe 25 to 20 bucks.
Dana kind of is the best at asking for prices, by the way.
Yeah.
If you've ever been shopping or sourcing with Dana and she's going to be able to haggle and negotiate prices, she'll bring this thing right up to the counter with this look on her face like, do you see this like mess over here? Like, can you do better because this is not working for, like, she'll do it at like Goodwill and Savers. I've seen it happen. And she almost always gets it. I never ask for stuff like that.
So I think I paid like $25, $28 a piece for all these T-shirts. I already sold like some of them. I've definitely made my money back, but I definitely paid more than I should have, but I knew that when I did it. I just wanted it so bad. So I was very happy when I got a full sale price. It was $97.99. I sold this one for. Made me very happy. Yeah, I paid like $30 for it. But I mean, come on, look how cute he is.
He is kind of cute.
He's dysfunctional by choice. He's so
just like you.
How dare you bitch. All right.
You bitch.
How about this one?
Okay, so this came in a big buy that I made from Susan Sanders, our friend Susan here in town, drummer lady Susan, when she was in the chat.
She was in the chat.
So I picked up a bunch of stuff from her, 6-7 months ago at this point. It took me quite a while to list these for some reason, because I don't know, because I'm doing the hard ones. Yeah. So anyway, it took me a while to list it. There were 2 pieces. I sold one and showed it probably the last haul or the previous one before that. And I think I'm into the way I averaged it, like $5 per item that I purchased from her, and it just kind of spread out over lots of different items. So let's just say I paid about $5 for it. So buyer paid $91 for it.
very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
it's really nicely made. Again, it's the Navajo stuff. Again, if you're going to put American Indian or Navajo and you're going to identify it as such when you're selling something, especially on eBay, it's not as strict on the other platforms, but eBay especially. If you're going to call it Navajo, you better know that it's from that tribe.
Yeah.
If you're putting something in then and you're attributing it to a specific Native American tribe or specifically vintage Native American, you need to know this one actually is signed and dated, and that person, that artist there, you can look that person up.
Yeah.
So
literally says Navajo.
right, and it says it right there. So it's not and I was able to see like when the works were produced by that person. So when you have the information, always, always, always put it. And if you do not know for sure, do not guess, because you will have your item taken down, and frankly, it's pretty disrespectful. So
okay. Next up, I definitely sold a few records. As you know, I had kind of stopped sourcing for almost like a month before we went on our cruise to save some money and some list stuff that I had around the house. And so I put up a bunch of records that I had bought to resell eventually. And so I sold like 3 of them, I think I have in today's show. So this is The Art of Drowning, limited edition put out by Newbury Comics. One of 500 copies that were made in this particular color. And I paid like $20 for this. I think this is another one that I got when we were in Arizona. I got it for that price. I took an offer for $115, which is still a pretty good deal, especially when it's like super, super easy to package up a record if you have vinyl shipping boxes, which we do. So just a really quick, easy sale. And I was happy about that. Yes.
This was a bins find. This was a Las Vegas bins find. So I paid probably less than $1. It's a lightweight shirt. If you go down to the tag, you can see the age. So this is probably from the 60s. May have been as new as the 70s, but looks more like a 60s tag. You could tell by the fabric that it was older. I bought it just because I felt that it was older, and then I found the tag after I bought it. But made in France for Bloomingdale's. So it sold for the price you see there, $97 and change. If you look up specifically that word, marinier, that's the French word for the style of just the striped shirt. Think about every mime you've ever seen on TV, like, right? So
or a gondolier,
somebody wearing a striped shirt like that with a beret. So that particular style and striped shirt with the bateau neckline is a good seller. So
yeah. Okay, so next up, I've got this Big Trouble in Little China soundtrack. Now, Joey's got a question for me. Do you think your record's graded? No, I don't, because first of all, the majority of the ones that I sell, either they're brand new, they haven't even been opened, or maybe I opened them once and played them once. And so what I do is first of all, I never put like the highest grading, because it's kind of like with comic books where there's like, I don't know, what do I have in here? Near mint, but honestly, it says near mint, but there's like, I swear, like 5 steps above near mint. It's ridiculous. I'll say, they say the same for sleeve grading. And so I say that for pretty much all of them. And if there's any flaw whatsoever, any like little nudge, crease, anything on the sleeve outside of the record, I make sure I have pictures and you can see it, but I've never had anybody complain about my records. Now, I do think the grading would be important if they were used and if they were like
specific types of those
like vintage records that are super,
somebody selling the Beatles original print white album. You want to have that graded.
Yeah.
That type of
or take really good pictures of every single.
You'll get more money for it if it's graded. But yeah, Kristen, funny you should say that. It's actually in the box that I'm opening today. I'm going to show that in a little bit. Crowdsource for some info on it.
All right. I sold this. I paid like $30 for this like a few years ago. I sold it for the price you see there, $139.99 for a really cool movie soundtrack on vinyl. Next up.
This was also a bins find. I believe it's a bins find. Definitely from Colorado. I think it's a bins find. I'm not 100% sure. It may have come from one of the thrift stores. Either way, $5 or less is what I paid for it. It is a vintage 1980s. It's a sweatshirt sweater. So it's like made like a cardigan sweater, but it's made out of sweatshirt material. And you can see that it's pretty pilly. It's got some wear to it. I got some up close pictures. It's not in like the most fantastic shape, but there's no holes or stains or smells. It's washed. I washed it. It's clean. Not missing buttons or anything like that. But it was pretty cool. I've never seen one like that. So that sold for the price you see there as well, $97 and
Crazy
change.
Nice. All right. I think this is my last record that I sold. Beetlejuice soundtrack, and so this was one that was actually open, I believe. You can see opened and played once. Like, sold it for. I took an offer for $150. Again, I paid like $30 for this originally when it first came out, and it sold for $150 because this is a limited edition in this particular color. But super fun. So I think that's like the last of my No, I think I've got a couple more that are.
I don't know why you sold that one. It's cool. Do you keep one for yourself?
No, because I don't know. I think I sold it. I sold for $150. I don't need it that bad. I have vintage ones. I have old ones. Like I have. There's one that Vikki got for me. She found it at a garage sale. It's Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like it's 4.
Mm-hmm.
That one I would not sell at all, not just because she gave it to me as a gift, but because it is. And then my other
it's worth quite a bit of money, even though it's not great.
It is, yeah, it is worth a lot of money. And then the other one, the one that I have that's worth the most money is the original Reanimator soundtrack. Definitely will not sell that one. So there's certain ones where I'm like, I won't, but this, it's not like it's actually like a vintage thing. It's just like, ooh, neat color and neat carrying case,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever.
Hey, Will, it's showtime. Have you heard, by the way, that Beetlejuice is coming back? They're remaking the Beetlejuice movie or a Beetlejuice.
They're not remaking it.
A Beetlejuice sequel. They're doing a sequel with all the original people.
Yeah.
So okay, so this was a Din's find. Again, this may have been my last trip to Colorado, or it could have been here. You know what? I get so much shit now. These guys, it's kind of running together. But 99.9% of the items that I purchase and sell lately have come from the bins, whether it's mine or theirs. Yeah, I don't know. So this was a bin's find. So like $2 to $3 I paid for it. It's a little heavy. It's more like a jacket, a shirt jacket, a shacket, if you will. But look at the back. It's really cool and embroidered.
Very cool.
And it sold for the price you see there. This sold on Etsy, so $129.95. And I paid $3 to $4 for it. Hasn't been listed that long, a few months maybe.
Very nice. All right, my next one, I got a story for you guys.
Oh boy.
We'll see.
You have a story with everyone.
No, this is a real story, and we're going to see. I'm going to take judgment from the cat. You know what? I deserve it. But you know what? I don't care enough. So this is a Lamborghini racing jacket. Super cool. I got this from yesterday's Fits. I didn't pay a lot for it. I think I paid like maybe $25 because it did have some flaws. It has like a.
Here's a story about a lovely jacket.
It's got some flaws.
That was living in the thrift shop down the street.
All right, shut your mouth. But it's like worn and faded, repair spot, a few small holes. So you can see in my condition, I definitely am saying it's got some issues. I paid like only $25 for it. And again, I had Crystal. There was one particular rip that was big enough to warrant having her fix it. So she did. Anyway, so I've had it listed. I don't know. It's probably been at least 6 months or something. And like this last week, I got an offer on Real for $90. I think on there I had it, so the price had come down towards $150. Somebody offered $90. I was like, I really want to sell it for $90. I thought about it for a while, and I'm like, you know what? Fine, I need some money. I'll go ahead and accept it. So that was like late at night. The next morning I wake up and bam, I hadn't ended it on eBay yet, and it sold for $209.99 on eBay. Now, generally, if there's like a little bit of a difference, even if the second sale was a little bit more, I'll go ahead and honor the original sale. But I'm sorry, it was literally the difference of $120. My sales have not been great. I've gotten back from a long trip where I had spent quite a large amount of money on beers. On beers. And so I went ahead and I canceled the Grail sale. I told the guy, I just said, I'm sorry, this actually isn't available. Well, he was smart enough to go and look on eBay, and he found my ended sale, and so he knew that I had sold with somebody else after him. and canceled his sale. He was not happy about it. And I got to be honest, if it were me, I would be pissed as well. It would definitely not make me happy.
Oh, tough titties.
Okay, no, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. It's not business. Good business would be to honor the original sale.
No.
Yes.
I'm going to disagree with that.
It's my story. Let me finish. Good business would be to honor the original sale. That is true. However, am I going to do this all the time? No. But at this point, it is worth it to me more to have $120 extra and piss off one person. And that's just the way it is. But I'm going to be real and say, yeah, it would make me mad too. And I would be like, that's not a cool seller. But it is what it is. Anyway, the guy was really mad. Told me that it was like, he was pretty sure it was illegal. Then he asked for
not illegal.
Then he asked for my address so that he could report me to the Better Business Bureau, which I just didn't respond to.
Get a life, dude.
But seriously, like, it's not, listen,
we're going to go 5 things forward, and I did the same thing. So
I don't care. And the difference is that you're an asshole, and you just don't want to admit it. I'm an asshole, but I will admit it because I'll take ownership of that, okay?
No, I'm going to, here, let me for a sec. I'm just going to say, here's the thing about it, is that you're going to see people all over social media and in certain groups and on Instagram, probably TikTok. I don't know if I was on TikTok more, watching more things than dog videos, I'd know this. But people are going to say that you need to honor the price. It's your fault. No, fuck that. Fuck that. You're in this business to make money. We are not working for free. So if you sell something on one platform for significantly more than you did on the other platform, go ahead and cancel the sale. Take the deg, take the ding to your metrics. Who gives a shit?
But clearly I agree with you in the sense that, yes, I did it and I will do it again. But what I'm saying is that I can still acknowledge that it is shit business practice to do that. However, I care more about the money in this instance. That's the reality. It doesn't mean it was a good thing to do. Will I do it again? 100%.
Yes, 100%. If you're here to make money. Now, if you make a mistake with shipping and it's like a $10 difference or $20 difference, can you go and ask the customer for extra money? No, of course not. Then it's your fault. Definitely eat that. You know, that's one thing. If $10, $20, whatever, eat it. However, if it is a significant amount of money, you are not here to take losses in your business. Anybody that is telling you differently is not a business person. I'm sorry. It is not. None of us are millionaires. There is no reason why you have to honor a mistake or honor a mispriced sale and lose money or lose your ass on it because you're honoring it. I'm sorry.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I also say it's still a shitty thing to do as a seller, and I'm going to continue to do it.
I'm going to continue to be a shitty seller.
Continue to do it if it happens again. I don't want it to happen. That's why I try to end stuff as soon as I sell it.
For sure.
I don't want these issues coming up because if I didn't know I was going to sell for full price, I never would have known, and I would have been fine with my $90 sale. It's something I wouldn't want to be in the habit of because you do have a reputation of honoring your sales.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
I'm not going to say do it all the time. Of course not. It doesn't happen often. It probably happens a couple of times a year to me, and I will do it every time to get more money. So the other thing is that, yes, exactly. Right. How many times a week do buyers say they accidentally bought something and want to cancel, or they don't pay, or whatever?
They're not a professional. They're a buyer.
Okay, but how many repeat buyers do you have? I sure don't have many. I don't give a shit. If I piss off one buyer, there's 9 billion others.
Okay, well, my bottom line, my point is I actually do feel bad for doing it. Not enough to not do it. But I do not think it's the best way to treat your buyers, but it is what it is. And I did it and I would do it again. So,
and Kathy, good for you if you're a millionaire. Good for you. I'm not. And you know what? Even if I was, I probably wouldn't care. That's the thing. Again, you're here to make money and
I get it.
And this is a business. So, all right, let's go to the next item.
Let's do it.
This was definitely a bins find. This was definitely a bins find here in Las Vegas. So I paid probably $4 or $5 based on weight, and it sold within a few months on Etsy for $129.95 plus shipping. This actually went international. I believe this one went to France. I've been getting a lot of sales on Etsy to France. So yeah, it's really buttery soft leather. I love it.
I'm finding so many of your highlighted sales for this last month are ones that you can find. Yeah. This one was a tough one. You couldn't find it anywhere in your inventory. Then I went looked through all the jackets. I couldn't find it. And then luckily, I don't even know how I ended up looking at the spot I did. Like the hanger had broken and it was like
And it
back
fell.
and it had fallen. But we were pretty sure, yes, Britt, it is a poop jacket. We were pretty sure that you were going to have to look into the sale. So it was very exciting about it. All right, next up, we have this Married with Children t-shirt. I dated Kelly Bundy. It sold for, it was actually like 15% off, so it was $127.49. I paid like $20 for this. I bought it with a bunch of other Married with Children t-shirts. It's funny because when I got these, I paid $20 a piece for them, and when I looked, there were plenty of them out there. This one, there's not as many, but still getting $127.49 for it was a freaking great sale, and I was very, very happy about it. But awesome t-shirt, love it, and I think it's like somebody found like a bunch of dead stock Married Children, a bazillion sellers all listed at the same time. There's a lot of it out there, but so
there was that one seller.
Well,
that was selling a lot of dead stock things that you had purchased a bunch from.
It wasn't from that. Okay, somebody else. Great.
So this isn't a brand that sells for quite as much as it used to. Vintage Stuart Weitzman shoes used to sell quite well and for quite a bit of money. Now you're lucky if you can get 30 or 40 bucks for them generally. But these were a really nice pair that I had picked up. They're very, very dominatrix, right? Very dominatrix. Black leather, very soft leather. When Weitzman shoes were made well in the 70s and the 80s and even into the early 90s, they were made better. They were better quality leather, and they were just super soft, really great shoes.
Would you say they're supple?
Supple. They're supple leather. I got these at the bins, guys. So I probably paid $3. These actually sold to France as well. They sold for $129.95, plus made another $10 or so on the shipping. So I made, $140 on a pair of vintage shoes, and the buyer left very nice feedback, and, they were much nicer in person than she thought they were going to be, because I took very close, detailed photos of the flaws, which are not super noticeable up close, but in photos, they look much worse than they are.
All right, let's take a small break while you slather some hand cream on yourself.
I'm putting lotion on my hands. It's dry. We live in the desert. I'm dry.
That sound.
The sound of lotion.
You just hear that? It's like
ASMR.
Disgusting. Now your hands are supple. All right, so this next one, I'm not going to show you this yet. Okay, so we left on our cruise on February 2nd, which was a Thursday, I think, right? So Wednesday night, I always wait till like the last second to change the handling time and to do all that stuff. And so like about 6 o'clock that night, I was going in, I was finally changing my handling time, updating my business policies, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to Etsy to go update there. And all of a sudden I have a sale on Etsy, and I'm like, oh, I got a sale. I go to look at it, and I was like, what? Wait, what? And it was like a $1,500 sale. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? Literally, guys, it was 22 items I sold to one person on Etsy. It's 6 o'clock at night. Luckily, we have post offices open until 9, because I'm like, I'm not waiting to ship this out for another like 11 days. So I pulled all the items, packaged them up, shipped them, drove them to the post office. I got them scanned to the post office at 8:30 at night, the night before we left to go on our trip. And they went to Canada. So
that was like while Corey and I were eating tacos.
Yes, it was not super. Luckily, we had already packed like earlier in the day, so it was still kind of a hassle to have to go. I was like, hell yeah, need some money. Anyway, here I just basically took some screenshots. It's 22 items, and the thing is, nothing like super crazy exciting. It does end up being, I think it was either 10% off or 15% off of everything. These are the full prices here. A lot of like kind of sailing stuff, nothing too crazy exciting. But look, I got this Kermit the Frog t-shirt for $200. Again, it was like 15%
I love
off
that shirt.
But what's funny is I showed this to Jesse, and he's like, what? Because this shirt, I mean, you can get one for $100 or less even, but somebody bought it anyway. So there's that one, and you can see the list here. So I have windsurfing, British Shark Surf, marathon.
How many items?
22 items. And then here's the last part of it. So you can see the total was $1,497.78. They got 15% off. And so the total was $1,280 plus the shipping that was added on top of all of that. So $245.50 shipping.
Which was calculated because it went out of, where did it go, Canada?
Yes. So it was 22 items. So it was the shipping of all of them combined.
Not that it cost that.
No.
It charged.
This is
it automatically
they
charged
were
them.
charged.
Yeah, it automatically
so
charged.
I got a total of $1,525.93. I packed it all up and on its way. I think it cost like, I don't remember how much it cost to ship, but it was because I had to go priority.
I think it was between 50
it was like
and 60.
No. It was like $80 or $90 because I had to go priority. And so did I give a shipping refund? No, I did not. Seriously, I didn't ship this out until the I put it out at night, February 1st. Where I drove to the freaking post office. I'm gonna take extra shipping, and they paid it, and they were fine with it. But it went to like this fancy schmancy like clothing shop,
Design house.
Up in like, it wasn't a design house, but up in Quebec, I think. Anyway, which made me happy because it's kind of like when you sell to any kind of production company or something, you know, you're not going to get that stuff back, so it's kind of a done deal. But let me tell you, yeah, I was definitely anxious about going 10, 11, 12 days without doing any work, without listening, without shipping. So it made me feel a lot better knowing I was going to be spending a lot of money to get this huge $1,500 sale. The show.
So I've had this for a while. I've had this for maybe a year and a half in my store, maybe 2 years. I paid $2 for this when I purchased it. I don't know if it was at an estate sale. Actually, I think I got this at the bins and it wasn't broken and they sold it to me for $2. And I'm not even sure it was this bins. It might have been bins in another state. However, it was in great shape. And I wish I'd had 2 of them. But this lamp is fantastic. There were no defects in this lamp. It's a beautiful lamp, but it's huge and heavy. Yep, I was Corey. Corey's like, yep, the bins. He sure remembers. Huge and heavy. And I want to say it might even be 2 years. It's probably closer to a year and a half.
Real heavy.
Real heavy. I wasn't home. This is when I was in Boston. Katy actually had to ship this one. You know, I always sell the heavy shit when she's gone. And I
technically didn't have to ship it because it sold like Friday morning, so it didn't have to be shipped until Tuesday. And you, because you were sick, you would have been back to take care of it. But I was thinking in my mind, I was going to ship it later anyway, so I went ahead and packaged it, which was not fun because A, it's heavy, B, it's a weird shape, and all the breakable stuff is right here. C, it's really long, and there's no. I tried to look at it, see if there's a way to take it apart, but I didn't see any way that like without damaging it. So I had to find a the box that was long enough
and wide enough,
to be able to pack that in.
Yeah. So it sold for the price you see there. It actually sold for $275. Plus, I had charged $50 shipping, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think I just charged a $50 flat rate shipping. It went UPS. And I'm pretty sure that it shipped for under $40.
Yeah, it definitely did not take the full $50.
It took quite a while to sell, but I liked it. I like it. And, you know, and
pretty.
I didn't even have to ship it.
Yeah. How dare you? All right.
You know that it had one of those big, huge drum shades on when it was in someone's house.
I'm sure. All right. Next up is this Pendleton shirt. Sold it for the price you see there, $100. Ungrailed. I paid like probably about $20 for this. I don't remember exactly, but I bought it and I think it had like a little hole. The guy had asked me like for another picture of the hole because he couldn't really see. Let's see if I but it was really
like a snag.
It's like it doesn't even, well, the thing is, you see this is on the inside. It doesn't even go all the way through because it's like on the other side of this. So it was definitely a hole that go all the way through. And it took me forever to even find it again because he wanted a better picture of it. And I'm like, honestly, like I had the toughest time finding it, so it's really not insignificant. But yes, I paid like $20 for it. Sold it for $100. A few years ago, 5 years ago, this would have sold for $150, $200. Pendleton board shirts definitely were like super low years ago, but
and then they started reissuing them, so that's part of it too.
Yeah.
That style is back, but you can buy it brand new for like $80 at Pendleton. So
children
They'll still sell. They just don't sell for as much.
Yeah, first fast.
And then I did the same thing Katy did. I sold this on eBay. I don't remember what day it was. Let's just call it a Monday. I sold this on Monday on eBay for $150 plus $50 shipping. It sold later in the day on Monday. I did not end it on all my platforms. My practice is that I do it the next day. I do it every morning. I end all of my stuff that sold the previous day. And up to that point when I'm ending everything. So I hadn't ended it yet. Sometime overnight, and mind you, this has been listed at least a month. Sometime overnight, it sold on Etsy for $299.95 plus $100 shipping. So I canceled the eBay sale. I canceled the eBay sale. I contacted the customer.
They say anything to you?
No, they just said, if you find another one, let me know.
BBB.
I did. They did not ask for my address to report me to the BBB. They were disappointed, but tough.
Yeah. Usually I never have, anytime I've ever had a cancel, usually it's because like it didn't get unlisted forever ago. I generally don't have any issue with people.
Yeah.
You know, this guy.
So it sold. This was actually something that I got from Susan as well. I did get a bunch of electronics. Some of the items were unusable and I ended up testing them. They weren't working at all. So I threw them away. And then there were others that sold for, $30, $40 here and there. This was the highest selling one. I will say this was a to ship. It's very big, it's very heavy, it's very bulky, but it does work.
And getting it packaged up so it's safe.
Packaging it up so it's safe when it's got all these little sticky out parts on the front that you don't want to snap off in the box or anything like that. All sticky parts. So it sold for $300 plus $100 shipping. And yeah, I sure as hell canceled the eBay order and shipped that order. Yep. And hardly took it down from my other platforms to make sure nobody else thought it was worth buying somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or the other guy that I canceled on didn't find it somewhere else. So.
Yep. All right. My last one, I had two of these. The first one sold a while ago for $100, and I sold this one on Mercari for $85. I paid like $30 for it. It's not vintage. It looks like it's vintage style, like it's all over print. But
all over print's creepy.
Yeah, it's this Heaven's Gate all over print T-shirt.
I mean, he's creepy as hell, that dude.
Well, he's super dead. So, all right, that's it for sales highlights.
Sales highlights.
So why don't we go ahead and get into our haul? What do you got? So get us started. You excited?
I haven't hauled anything in a month. And I forgot. That's the nice thing about doing this box by box, which I did last time I did from Colorado. I just grabbed it all and sent Crystal stuff that was going there. This stuff I'm doing box by box, so I'm not overwhelming her every week with 100 items. I'm giving her, the amount that she can get through.
And you get excited when you go.
And I'm getting to show everybody the stuff. So yeah,
it's like you haven't seen it in over a month. So it's like,
so it's like, oh, I forgot I bought this. So this is something that I got at the bins in Colorado. This I think might have been custom made for somebody, or it's just got this little tiny tag on it that just has some handwriting on it. Or it might have been a costume. It could have been in a movie or something like that. This is vintage. It is handmade. It is a silk shantung.
Silk what?
It's basically it's made out of silk, but it's kind of a
what's the word you say?
Shantung. I might not be saying it right. It's this coral peach color, but if you look at this, can you see how it's got texture to the fabric? I'm pretty sure it's silk. There's no tags. I think it was custom made. It is a layered mini dress. And it has these huge sleeves.
Rose says you're saying it right, but go back to that word because people are here to learn from you, and I've never heard it before. What exactly is shantung?
It's like a woven, and you know how silk is usually very thin and silky and satiny. It's a type of fabric that is made with silk, but it's like a woven silk fabric. If I'm describing
it's like
it correctly.
The bark cloth
Crystal,
of the silk world.
Maybe. Crystal, maybe help me out as far as the what it is for fabric. I'm not sure.
Jody wants to
Jody,
know if it's too small for her.
I think it might be. This is a very huge thing, and it's really short, but you've got great legs. You could pull it off, but I think it might be. It's multi-layered on the skirt too. It's got this big, full multi-layered skirt, like 2 or 3 tiers, and then this fantastic sleeve. This is one that I may have to actually steam because it's wrinkled as shit, and I hate steaming, and I don't ever ask Crystal to steam either. Thank you, Kristen. I was saying it right. Okay, it's like a nubby silk.
I was trying to yourself. I was just trying to point out when you use a word I've never heard of. I think if somebody's watching and they're trying to learn.
Well, that's exactly everyone in the chat is describing it as how I described it. Yeah. Yes, it's very Stevie Nicks. Hold
on, guys.
Don't die. Don't die.
I'm not doing it.
No? Okay, so this actually came from ARC. This is an Anthropologie brand, Sleeping on Snow. It used to be a little bit more popular, as most Anthropologie brands are. I don't really pick these up, but this was one that was 50% off, and it was $5. It has the faux fur collar. It's a nice cardigan, really pretty fabric. It's got some really like pretty fuzzy mohair accents to it. I may even keep this one. I don't know. It's a nice cardigan. So it's pretty cool. I don't know what I'll price it at. Probably 40, 50 bucks. Let's see. This was also an ARC purchase. So the brand it's vintage, 100% wool. The brand is Alice K. That's probably 70s. Not that the brand means a lot. It's just a vintage cardigan in a kind of a diamond pattern. What it does have is these really pretty frog button closures. Like that Asian frog button closure design. So it's pretty. 60s, 70s, probably early 70s-ish on this one. This will probably be like a $75 sweater. Fancy. Let's see. This is a really pretty, I think 1950s. I'm going to have to look this one up. Sorry, I'm looking at the tab real quick. 1950s, metal talon zipper up the back. Really pretty sundress. It's got these, also very tiny, but it's got this layered, it's kind of like a patio sundress. It's got a little bit of a, kind of like a Mexican influence to it. Like kind of looks like the Mexican tea dresses or dancing dresses. It is boned. So it is lightly boned inside. It's very nicely made. And I'm going to say this was an ARC purchase. I did pay $9 for this. It's really nice. I'm probably going to price this around the $150 range.
Bones mean?
Bones?
I know what it means.
It means that it has structure. So in the top, it'll have structure around the bodice, so it like almost like a corset would have, so that it keeps it stiff and holds it up. So it like would hold up the bust too. So a lot of women would wear a dress like this.
Someone might look for use the keyword bone if they're looking for a dress like that, maybe.
I don't know that I would put it in the title. I would definitely put it in the description.
Okay.
But it just means that it holds the structure well, and also holds the bust up. So you don't necessarily, depending on how dressed you are, you may not have to wear a bra with it. Is basically what it means.
Nothing to do with owners. I was talking about the character from Family Ties.
Just stop, please. Just.
Or not Family Ties. What? Not Family Ties. What's the one with Kirk Cameron?
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Nice try. What size is that one, Kristen? The Mexican patio style. Yeah, thank you, Crystal. That's probably how I would have described it too. The small dress, the Mexican style one, it's probably an extra small or small. It still has the cardboard tag in it. I think it was tagged as a junior size 11 or something like that, which is probably like a size 3 now. I wouldn't know without measuring it exactly, but let's see. So this is a Jam's World dress. Cute, bright pattern, not vintage. It'll probably sell for 40 or 50 bucks. This was also an ARC purchase for $4. It's just one of those staples. I almost always pick up Jam's. It always sells, men's and women's. This was another one. This is a $5 purchase. This is April Cornell. I have talked about this brand before. Known specifically for dresses, more of the cottage core, prairie, grunge, those early 90s dresses, especially the slip dresses. Um, and I will definitely, this is just a cardigan sweater. But it's got like a poncho sweater.
Ooh.
And it's in the, sorry, my walls again, ruining the color here. It's a rust orange, which is
It's a little
actually
rusty orange.
It's actually a very popular color right now. That whole rust orange and mustard yellow and navy blue and hunter green and burgundy, those colors from the 90s, which this is probably a 90s outfit. Those have all kind of come back, and those are the colors that are good for fall and winter for this year. I know we're heading into spring, but those are very the colors are back. If you walk through a current store now, Target or even Walmart or whatever, you're going to see the color palette looks exactly like it did in the early 90s. Here's a Jody thing.
That says literally says Jody.
Literally says Jody. I paid $5 for this. At I don't know where. Bric-a-brac it says on it. I can't remember where we were, but this came from
general store.
Jody in her general store. This is just a doll play set from Ideal Toys. This is from the 70s. I think it's complete. I haven't pulled it all apart. It looked very complete. If it's complete, it'll probably sell for about $100. There's one that is sold in the last 30 days on eBay for about $50 that is not complete. And then there are several others that are listed anywhere from $75 to $150 to $200. I think $200 is not a fair representation of what it will sell for, but I think I can easily get $75 to $100 plus shipping out of this. The one thing you're going to go see is that if you go and take a look for this Jody general store, a couple of them have them. A couple of people have them listed, and the shipping to me is looking like $75. This is not a $75 item. That is what happens when you use calculated shipping. Calculated shipping, and you live on another coast, and you have not learned to manipulate the shipping process. Someone's never going to buy something like that from you. At most, that's going to cost $20 to ship through UPS.
This is from 1975. I would like to read what it says on the side of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Jody takes little girls back to quieter times when life moved slowly and people had time for each other. Jody brings back a gentle, old-fashioned loveliness, the kind we need more than ever today.
Aw, if that doesn't describe our little picking peaches, I don't know what does. That's cute. So that took up a lot of real estate in the box. I had to. Let's see what else I have here. I'm just pulling stuff out. I don't even know what I have anymore.
That's what she said.
Vintage. 90s, 80s, I would say 90s. Just a broomstick, Southwestern style tiered skirt. I'll probably sell for $50, $60. Also vintage. These all came from ARC. Also vintage. This is 80s, made in the USA. Little country. If you want to go line dancing, as a matter of fact, I don't know. I made this skirt. This is really cute. I would wear this with a little white t-shirt and a denim jacket and a pair of cowboy boots.
It's kind of cute how what's this called again?
Gingham.
The gingham. It's really small and gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is actually really cute. I might wear that. Prairie skirt, kinda, yeah. I think I might wear this one. We'll see. I may have to wear it and then sell it. It's cute.
Raggedy Ann core.
Right. Did someone else say that? Oh no,
yeah.
Crystal said that Raggedy Ann core.
Except Raggedy Ann was freaking Annabelle, bitches.
Yelling bitches.
You already dropped the F-bomb, so you have already ruined the show this week.
That's true. So this is vintage. This is like mohair and knit vintage cardigan sweater. It's kind of a seafoam green, bluish gray color. And it's just an open cardigan knit, vintage. I don't know. I'll probably sell it for like $40, $50. This is all new to me. I can't remember half of this crap. This is what happens when you're on a buying binge and you just buy everything for days. Forget what you bought. Let's see. This is not super vintage. I think I just need to find the brand. I've got to try and find the tag. It's got like half a tag on this. Anybody has any ideas? I'm not even sure if it's vintage. If that tag looks familiar to you, hit me up and let me know. But again, this might have been something I bought for me. I'm not sure. I love these long open-faced cardigan things, and that's what this is. It's very gauzy and lacy and grayish. The gray is kind of like a green tint.
We do not have any videos about washing stuff. This is dry clean only or wash. But I will say a lot of times the whole dry clean only is bullshit. Unless it comes to like wool or there's certain things that you wouldn't want to put in the washing machine. We don't have any videos on that. But kind of our philosophy, I think both of us, I can speak for both of us when I say if it's bad enough that it's not really sellable, then we're gonna lose trying to wash it.
Exactly. Yep.
So
So this is just a Talbot sweater, but it's probably vintage Talbots, 90s or early 2000s. I paid $3 for it. The only reason why I picked it is it was $3. And I really just like the pattern. Again, this is very me. Like I would wear this sweater. Apparently, I like flowers and old lady patterns, and I'm here for it. So I would wear this. It's just pretty colored and patterned.
Julie says that she shops the same bins as you and finds nothing, and then you come behind her and find girls, and she pays you money for
that. Jody. You find awesome stuff. We don't source together a lot, so I don't really in front of you. Come on now. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, okay. So Kristen, Rural Squirrel, and Liz were talking about these earlier. Kristen found these and handed these to me at the bins when we were in Colorado. And I'm going to tell you, I am 95% sure that these are original Civil War uniform pants. And I have sold plenty of Civil War items throughout the years, especially being from New England. I haven't found anything since I've lived in Nevada. Don't get me wrong. Everything's too new here. But when I lived in New England, I used to find things like swords and hats and belts and belt buckles and occasionally uniform jackets and things. And these every bit feel like that to me. They look like that to me. Now, I'm going to say that these are not truly Civil War, and they were absolutely made as reenactment pants down to the letter as the way that they're supposed to look, to the point where they have 10 buttons. So they're gray blue, so Confederate, gray blue pants. They have no zippers or snaps because obviously there were no zippers or snaps then. Well, it started with snaps, but more hook and eye snaps then. But the buttons are made out of aluminum or tin, which are the buttons that go around the waist. The back has all the ties. I mean, this is just string. This probably was replaced with string. But the ties to close the back, which was probably a leather tie back then. And then they have it's button front crotch, button fly. But they're heavy, thick wool. And they're effaced inside with muslin, and the pockets are lined, and the belt is lined with like a muslin fabric, maybe a linen, but I think muslin, which is also correct for the times. They don't have any holes in them, like wool holes. They don't have any wear. They even have the bottom even has the shorter cuff, but the cuff for the with a split in it to go over the boots properly. So I've got to do more research. Obviously, I haven't done any research other than like when we first saw them at the bins, talking about them, and then talking about them now. I'm going to do more research. I'm going to look into some of this because some of this does look like it's machine stitched, and there were some machines. And that's the part that I'm not sure of. I'm going to have to check on the type of serging and stitching that was available then. And do a little deep dive. I don't do research like this very often, but if these are genuine, the difference between the difference between them being very well made vintage reenactment pants, which is what they could be, or genuine Civil War pants is probably triple or quadruple the price. So
right.
Have
you ever heard the term, the term generous lover? Kristen's a very generous bins pipe. We got some cool stuff from her, right?
I have.
Did you bring those boots?
No.
What was wrong with you? Where are they?
The boots are, I think I sent those to Crystal, or they're over here. I don't know right now.
Anyway, Kristen, those boots from your car. They're pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So the cuff looks like, so the cuff is just like this little split. That's the cuff. This is the ankle cuff. These are like kind of they're made like a pantaloon, like they're wider, and then they're wider at the thigh and then a little bit more narrow. They're cut, which is why I'm not I got to do more research. Anyway, so we don't do all the research here, but I just wanted you to see these. They're super cool. I will definitely report back on a show again. They look really good to me. I know that they're definitely vintage. I can tell that they're vintage based on the fabrics. Whether or not they're actually antique is another story. And lots of people, the reenactment stuff is down, really close. So they could be reenactment. But even if they are reenactment style, they are vintage. So I'll let you know. They're pretty cool though. Let me see, what else do I have? What else is in here?
What you got?
Oh, this actually matches the skirt that I showed earlier.
Similar.
It's similar. It's not exact, but it's similar. So like a vintage 90s Western shirt dress. This has pockets, skirts. It's not called a shress. It does not work like a shacket shirt dress. It's got like this whole Aztec Southwestern print. That's a bins find. I don't know what I'll sell that for. Probably $75 to $100. And thanks for the nails compliment, girls. Nice to see you in the chat. You guys want me to keep going, or you want to see Katie's t-shirts? I don't know. Am I going too long?
I feel like that was a very loaded question.
Let's see. More 60s stuff. Long paisley dress, just with just accordion skirt. This is long. It's pretty. Rear zipper. It says right on it 2-piece, so I guess I need to find the other piece. On the tag says 2-piece.
Well, I had a belt.
It has the belt. Oh, you're good.
I know.
It has the belt, the kind that ties. All right, so there's that. I don't know, 75 to 125, something like that. That's what I'll sell it for. Here's another one with a belt. This one I paid $750 for. This is vintage, made in Hong Kong, 1980s. LLB, another shirt dress. It's just this very basic yellow, but it's this waffle, kind of almost like a waffle weave cotton, thicker textured. It has pockets. This also has a belt. Very 80s.
Melt it, cinch it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like these dresses personally. This is a flattering style if you have a curve to you. The shirt dresses with these. So it's this nice, like buttery yellow. It's pretty. Let's see. What else? Another dress. This is also very 70s in the muted earth tones, very polyester.
Ooh.
Also a shirt dress of sorts. So buttons up the front. These muted earth tone stripes, soft stripes, browns, navies, greens. And it buttons up, and then it has the tie at the neck, so the pussy bow.
I feel like it's very 9 to 5 maybe Jane Fonda dress.
It could have been a Jane Fonda dress from 9 to 5. The yellow dress definitely looks like something Rose on Golden Girls would have worn or did wear. Yes, we need a St. Olaf story.
Crystal says she owns that same yellow dress.
That makes sense because it looks like something you would wear. Very cute. Let's see. What else do I have here?
What you got? What you got?
Vintage, not handmade. Paid $5. Vintage. This is definitely prairie core style. It's just a
get close in.
Very tiny red and white polka dot print.
Cute.
Buttons down the front. But it has like the ruffle on the hem. This is like a cross between like pinup style and prairie.
Yeah, it's just super blown out. That red is.
I know. So sorry, it's not really
blinding.
It's a normal red. This is actually a really cute dress. That would maybe almost fit me. It's kind of a crossover, depending on the type of shoes or bag or hairstyle you got going on with it. You could cross that over to a couple of different styles. Definitely need some docks. Yeah. So depending on how you dressed it up, it could go for many different, style trends, cores as we call them. Okay. This is a very 70s dress right here. This is a rear zip. This is kind of like an eggplant color. It looks like a couch.
I was gonna say somebody like took the
it's like almost it's like that jacquard kind of fabric where it feels jacquard, Jauard. So it's thick and it's just a sheath dress with the zip up the back and a banded collar.
We have it in beater.
Yo, super sale Trish.
Yo, baby pops, hey, you come here, give me a kiss, but to make it fast,
or else I'm going to get pissed. Let's everybody in the chat sing. Yeah, the red one could be rockabilly too. That's why I said pinup, pinup rockabilly, all that kind of stuff. Let's see what else we have here.
What else do you have there?
What else? I'm getting down to the bottom, guys, of this box or two.
Trish likes this one.
Let's see. Oh, this one's real cute. This is actually a name brand that you put in the title. It is Rain Baumwoll, Reine Baumwoll, which is really, it just means wool, German, I think. Baumwolle.
No, does not mean cotton.
Oh, maybe it means cotton.
It means cotton.
Oh, check it out. Anyway, it's a this is vintage. It is not wool, so it's just a cotton dress with a really this is really cute too. Crystal, I could see you wearing this. It's got this really cute fluttery neckline with a tie, elastic waist, side zip. I would say this was probably 70s, maybe as new as very early 80s, 80 to 83 type of 80s. Very cute dress.
Crystal's been very helpful in chat. You said the word jacquard, whatever. It didn't really explain what it was. Design woven.
Thank you, Crystal. Let's see what else do I have here.
What you got?
I'm running out of good stuff, so I'll do.
Cheryl's here. I see a blanket.
Oh, I'll do a blanket for Cheryl. I'll do this dress. This is a very 70s dress as well. 70s with a floral kind of, it has birds on it on the top. And then it has this, it goes into an accordion pleat peplum top. Peplum is when you have this flare at the waist. So it sticks out, we've got that little ruffle at the waist. It cinches at the waist and then it has a little bit that sticks out almost like a little skirt. That's called peplum. And then a straight skirt in the solid color. This is all one piece. This is 70s. This will probably be, it's all polyester. This will be another, $75 to $100 dress.
Ooh.
Oh, I got this just because it's cool. I don't know if this brand is anything. Who knows? I'd have to look it up. Paid $2.50 for this dress. For this, sorry, for this sweater. It's called Planet Earth. Planet Earth sweaters. I don't know if it means anything or not. Probably not. But I got it because it's got this look. It's got this really cool little hula girl on the back.
What's it say?
It's a super soft sweater. It has this embroidered coconut bar, little hula girl dancing in the back, and the palm trees. And then the front has palm trees as well. I just thought it was a cute cardigan sweater. I would say that I would give this to Julie if I thought that she would wear it. I don't think it would fit her, but my friend,
really her style.
It's not really her style. My friend Julie, effing Julie. Let's see, anything else?
Yeah, that blanket.
Okay, I'll do the blanket for Cheryl. Let's see.
Cheryl sold a shirt today with a hula girl on the back.
Woohoo! So this is a San Marcos blanket. I don't even know what's on it. I'll have to tell now, but
Will we hold up and find out, won't we? Tiger.
It's got a tiger. It's not a colored one. If it were colored, it would be worth more. As is, that's probably a standard size one, like the cross between a full and a queen. So that'll probably be like $100 blanket. Nice. And I'm gonna tap out for today. I think I've bored you enough. Katy can now do t-shirts for you.
I got some t-shirts. I just might have some sweaters, you guys.
Woo!
But like I said, I hadn't done any buys in like over a month, and then I went last week and bought some stuff that fits. Found some cool stuff. Also, Jesse's been working on doing like having it be almost like a co-op there, where sellers can basically rent space in the shop. It's really cool, and he's expanding out. Right now, it's like one side of the store, but he's pretty much expanding it to where it's going to be almost the entire store. Except they're still going to have like their discount stuff in the middle of the store. I think like their $20 tees and everything. But they're going to change it so like the upstairs is shoppable with like all their stuff that's online. So it's really cool what he's doing over there. Anyway, so I got some cool stuff, some interesting stuff. I always like things that have historical significance. I love cool t-shirts like election stuff and that kind of thing. This is a ringer tee. It says on the front, you can see it says "Go Get 'Em Ollie," and on the back it says Oliver North. Oh, true American hero. Now I would say that it really depends on who you're talking to. I agree with that statement, considering he did serve prison time for the Iran-Contra thingamajig in the 80s. But cool shirt, very cool shirt. Screen Stars tag. I would say this is from late 80s, early 90s. It's actually a decent size. Like
that's big. That's an extra large.
Yeah, it says extra large, but it actually does measure like an extra large across the chest. But just kind of a cool little piece of history. Oliver North, true American hero.
I feel like we need to hear the American anthem playing behind us, like with that, the way you just said, true American hero.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I have a t-shirt that I think Mikey Saxamoni would appreciate. Perhaps this is, of course, I'm talking about Jack and Velda's 5th annual Testicle Festival. Okay.
I clearly have not seen that one yet.
2002 is the Testicle Festival. I do find it a bit disturbing that the bull is serving his own testicles on a platter. I feel like that's inappropriate. His and all of his buddies, because there do appear to be several balls on there. But this is from the 2002 Testicle Festival, which I would assume is a bunch of people sitting around eating animal testicles because they are sick bastards. But pretty awesome shirt, love it. This one, I mean, I don't think I paid a whole lot for this one, $5 to $10. Anyway, I think I listed it.
That's funny. The Testicle Festival.
Yep, Testicle Festival. Just when he lost his nickname. Yep. Liz says, sounds like Jack and Velda know how to throw a festival. Next up, I have this really cool shirt. It's on an interesting tag. It's made in Canada. It's an all over print. It's very soft for the 50-50 blend. And it says Screamin' Eagle on it. Now, of course, Screamin' Eagle is a Harley Davidson bike, but it doesn't say Harley anywhere on it. It does say Screamin' Eagle, Montreal, 1990. The tag, it's Watson's is the tag. It's made in Canada. It's made in Canada. Well, it's all blurry, but there you go. But it's a really cool shirt. I think $50 for it, $25. Love it.
There's a festival like that in Nebraska, Round the Bend Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I may or may not have been there. I'm sure you have been there.
Listen,
Kristen, you know what? I'm not going to judge you for going to get to the festival.
I'm not going to lie. I would eat some Rocky Mountain oysters. Something there.
I have tried them. You haven't had them?
Well, clearly not, based upon my statement. Ball gargler. All right. Next up. Just saying, speak the truth here. Universal Studios Jaws t-shirt. How cool is this? I love it. I love it. This is from obviously the Universal Studios Florida. Jaws thingamajig they have there. I paid $50 for this.
I've been on that ride a few times.
I never got.
Timothy, what did I miss? Did she just say ball gargler?
Cheryl says we don't judge. So Cheryl is open to garglers of all kinds.
All right, can we stop? Jeez.
Anyway, I also bought I don't know why I didn't show it in my solds. I also bought a vintage Stanley DeSantis X-Files t-shirt. It wasn't a super exciting one. I don't even know why. But I did already sell it, so I sold it for like $70 like that. All right, next up, and I believe this came from Jesse's personal collection. He's been getting rid of some stuff from his own collection. This is pretty close to brand new. It's a crispy tag on the changes tag. This is a 1995 Star Wars.
Oh, that's creepy.
Star Wars t-shirt.
Oh, I know. As soon as you said that, I realized it was Star Wars people.
But it's pretty cool because
these are the ones from the bar, right?
No. Some. It's pretty cool because it's all like Star Wars, like kind of not exactly villains, but kind of bad dudes, bad guys.
Here goes Britt. I've been on that ride a few times. That's what she said. You guys are awful.
Anyway, this is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Did anybody read the comment by Kristen? My 8-year-old sisters told her they were going to eat nuts, and she says, "I like all kinds of nuts: cashews, pecans." We died laughing. Oh my god, that's funny.
This one I definitely paid for. I think I paid like $60. I can't remember exactly, but it's like practically brand new, really good condition. There are not a lot of them out there. There's one other one I can find.
And what are you going to sell it for?
I already have it listed. I think I have it listed for $200.
All
right. Next up, I have this dead stock Goofy T-shirt.
Aww.
From the 90s. It's pretty teal. It's very well, you can see
it's a little bit more green than our walls.
The tag says it's $16.50. I paid $100. Here's crispy. It needs to be washed. ASMR. I guess I might
stop it.
Pearl, anyway, I'll get your earbuds in. Anyway, I already listed it. I think I listed it. Crispy, crunchy. I don't have time, guys, so bear with me. I don't have as much as Vikki did for her. So nothing crazy exciting, but just a cool Taz t-shirt, nice extra large size. I like the colors. These are popular right now, guys.
It is. Hey, see?
Hey, see? Huh? I'm doing vintage t-shirts. I really like this because it's called Eldorado, Las Vegas. This is from 1991. The Eldorado celebration.
Eldorado Days. It's an annual parade that happens here in Vegas and it's the longest running parade.
Rodeo there, so love the rodeo stuff. It's on the Russell Athletic. This one I paid like $10-15 for. I'm hoping to sell it for anywhere from $50 to $70. But it's big size. Colorado, cool name is that? It's a really friggin' cool, man. Yep. And the last T-shirt, and I'll show you a few sweaters I got, is this cool Garfield basketball T-shirt. This little jerseys tag. It's nice and worn and faded, but I really like all these, like the cartoon characters combined with NCAA sports team stuff. Like you see a lot of Snoopy, Garfield, and Taz. And
Snoopy
like
definitely has a lot of college stuff.
Yeah. So
it always sells well and for a lot when you find it, by the way. Don't think because it's a small school or it's a lower level, less popularity, it's not a major team. Don't think that you shouldn't pick it up if it's for high school or college, because let me tell you something, that stuff sells for more than the NFL stuff or the, MLB stuff. It sells really well.
Yeah, I have this listed already. So Timothy, or not Timothy, who is it?
Kelly.
Kelly. All right, so then I got a few sweaters. I always like to pick up these heavy. This isn't like the ones that are from Ireland. This one in particular is actually from Australia. The Jerizabone brand wool sweater. Nice big size, extra large, boo. It's really cool, chunky knit going on there. And I paid like $20 a piece for these two sweaters I'm going to show you. Honestly, like there wasn't a lot of comps for the Jerizabone. There's a few, and they had pretty low pricing on them. I imagine because they're like from Australia, they probably aren't a lot of them around here, if that makes sense. But so I still feel like worth more than that. I listed it for 100. Hopefully, I'll sell for 65 or more. But yeah, I would guess that's probably something that doesn't have like a wide. It's not widely seen in the U.S. But more wide. Weren't great comps on it. I go ahead and believe I can sell it for more. And then the other one I got is this St. Michael. What's going on there?
I'm answering a question.
Remember all those things that you showed that I sat and gave commentary? You guys, I'm very insulted. Apparently, the only thing that can keep her attention. Balls.
I feel shame.
St. Michael, made in Britain. I actually really like the pattern on this. It's really cool. This part, we got some leather elbows.
Suede elbows. Very academia.
So, that one too. And then last, guys, I got two more. No, wait.
But wait, there's more.
I did get a couple of grandpa cardigans. This one is Izod. It's red. My grandpa totally red one. Got this one. $15 for it. And then I also have this that is an Arnold Palmer, Robert Bruce cardigan. It is actually it's missing the bottom button. However, we got an extra one back here, so it comes with an extra one underneath. So I just put it in these things. I'm like, I don't think it's worth paying Crystal to like sew a button on once they can do it themselves. I think it greatly affects the value. It's a pretty simple fix. But a nice black. This is what when I become an old man grandpa. This will be part of my daily wardrobe. It's a really cool black cardigan.
We're gonna have to discuss this. Definitely very Mr. Rogers, the whole V-neck sweaters. However, the latter years of Mr. Rogers, they were not so used the zipper front V-neck cardigans, but they had the big metal zipper in the front.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm on to the last one. Now, this one I definitely paid too much for, but I paid too much, fully aware I was paying too much. I just wanted it. I wanted it in my inventory, so I did not care. But I got such great deals overall on everything that I bought that when I do that, I usually just I'm like, okay, but I'm getting like way under price on this other stuff, so it's totally worth it for me because I want it. This is a vintage 70s Pendleton.
Speaking of Mr. Rogers, this is the type of zipper pull he had on his zippers.
Yeah.
The round zipper pull.
Now, the pattern on this is exactly like the one on the Big Lebowski that the dude wears. The colorway is different. This one is like a blue and gray, but it's the same pattern. It's heavy, whatever. I did pay $140 for this. But again, when he was offering this, he was giving me discounts on other stuff at the same time. Whatever. I plan to sell it for at least $200, so I'm not really going to make a lot of money with it. But I get to have it in my presence, which makes me happy. And I have sold one before for $200, and that was a few years back, like 5 years back. But it just makes me happy having this in my house. So I'm having it in my inventory, and so when people look at my store, they see stuff like this, and I think it's all good. So that's it.
You banged really close to the microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cheryl. Sorry about your ears.
Do you want to wrap up the show so you get back to your testing?
Yeah.
Okay. I can make it happen for you. Jerk.
I was just answering a shipping question.
Was it necessary during our show?
It was not. I am properly chastened for the moment. So thank you all. I don't know how many people we had in the live show.
We had close to 100.
We had about almost 100 at one point. Thanks for remembering us, guys. You didn't forget us all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We are going to wrap this up. So maybe I plan to get a little bit more work done today. I don't know. Let's Vikki can't handle it once the show's over. She ends up going.
Nope, I'm done.
Watching TV or something.
Yep.
She's like over it. She's like, I'm done with this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to try to get some listing done. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. As always, as far as I know, we will be back next week.
We will.
I don't think we have any plans. I don't think we're doing anything. So we will see you all next week.
And hopefully we have some good solds to share, guys, because I've been listing my butt off this week, even that.
Mm-hmm. And let's just leave you with the final thought shared with us by Timothy. It is truly the show's mantra, although I'm going to have to say Vikki hasn't been quite following it herself. But hashtag, don't be a dick. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.